Welcome back to the main room, everybody. I would like to thank everyone attending today's symposium for being here with us. In closing, I would like to at this time invite our witnesses to share with us what they have gleaned from today's sessions. What are some nuggets that they are going to be taking back with them to their communities? And also maybe serving as a reframing or refreshing of our own sort of thinking along what we've heard today and what we can take ourselves back to our communities. So I welcome and invite Danielle, and is Cheryl or Brody still here with us as well? Just going to...
Here's Cheryl.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Just going to make sure I have you spotlighted. Oh, there you are.
I can take care of the spotlighting. I just can't spotlight when people are not on video. So
Oh, okay. All
Brody,
right.
if you want to be on video, I can spotlight you. If not, just pop in with your audio whenever.
Okay, thank you. And I welcome Cheryl and Danielle and Brody forward.
Thank you for the opportunity again. I want to first start by extending my gratitude, and in particular to you, Elder William Thomas, for this morning's opening. I appreciate you coming and joining us in this time where you're experiencing your own grief. And one of the comments that you made this morning around watching the younger generation here participating and sharing their work made me reflect on the privilege that I've had in my life of never having to even have that reflection. I've always had those doors open. And so I think that is the thing that I've learned so much through the past 2 days, but in particular today, that the privilege that I've experienced and the opportunity I have in my work moving forward in the position that I have to start making better change, more effective change. And I think that goes to Harlan's point that through work and through action for a better tomorrow. And I think that's the responsibility that I hold, and the lessons that I've learned through these past 2 days really will carry with me in the work that I do. I also, just coming off of Leslie's presentation and Danielle's presentation, which I thought was fantastic, really thinking about allyship and being partners in this work, and really starting from that place of grounding yourself and what is your role here and what is your responsibility here, and that it's a long-term journey. And I look forward to walking that journey and learning from my colleagues and partners who've been at this a lot longer than I have. So I leave today really excited about the work ahead, and the role I play in being a facilitator for change. So thank you again for the opportunity to serve in this role. I hold it with great responsibility and humility. And appreciate being part of these past 2 days. And again, my congratulations to just a phenomenal event. So I'll stop there and pass it over to Cheryl or Brody, whoever would like to go next. But again, my thanks to you all.
Well, I'm going to jump in if I may. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Cheryl. I also must reiterate, it was with great humility and honor that I was asked to do so, and I accept with that humility and honor in my heart. It was a privilege to witness as well as to learn from all of the speakers. Today was much like yesterday. Just I felt like I was just taking and absorbing so much that it's going to take a while to wrap my head around it and articulate it in a coherent manner. Several things that I did want to point out that I thought really tied together was this idea that old knowledge is what we're rediscovering. I think one panelist framed it researching, which I thought was really appropriate because it fit in with what Harlan was saying. But also in another quote that I have is, new knowledge is old knowledge to new people. And I thought that was absolutely wonderful. and tying again into the last presentation I was in regarding spiritualism and the fact that our spirits can be lost. Some of our traditional teachings, and especially in light of the events of last week. And so I have just one more quick quote that I thought really resonated with me. And this was, we've lost so much of our culture that we're now looking to borrow some of those cultural practices from others. And so there is no wrong way of exercising our culture. For many people who might find comfort in the medicine wheel, but might not be from that territory whose practices that are grounded in that teaching. And so again, there's many ways of expressing that. And I think from a research point of view, the fact that it's all reciprocal, it's coming back, dialoguing with each other, and for the benefit and purposefully for the community. And so I'm really grateful to witness that the presentations that I attended was done in that good way. And so I thank you very much. I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Such an honor and such a learning time. I thinking about my starting point, what I was saying yesterday about a place of unknowing and sitting in that. I like the word that you used, to be in a place of absorbing, but really I'm struck by the generosity of everybody who shared today, and especially our elders and the knowledge keepers. You have shared much of yourselves and have drawn the attention for me again to come back about self-awareness in the starting point. And the question that was asked, who are we, who are each of us in the colonial narrative? And to be able to really situate oneself in that. So that is a question that I carry with me, that I'm, as an ally, one would not want to position oneself as a savior or being able to sort of solve and come up with creative solutions. This is not that kind of work. The power of words that came through so strongly in our first presentation about how I love the idea of how many different words there are in the context of Two-Spirit. And that to me is the diversity and the richness that we've learned about, is that we're not hearing about Indigenous people singular, but Indigenous peoples plural is stepping into that, the multiple. The diversities within intergroup contexts, and that's very important for research. So I think with that, the movement, in my research hat on, we have moved from an era where we said research was about discovering new knowledge. So, okay, we've moved past this idea of discovering things. Then we were saying like research is generating new knowledge. But I love the place where what you drew our attention to is that it's not even the generating of new knowledge per se. It's about our searching and sharing and coming to understandings, much more than what is the new enterprise of new knowledge that we're coming up with. And the last thing I think that I carry with me, Harlan at the beginning made it wasn't sort of a point. I mean, there's so much richness in all of these words that is being said. Noble professions were sites of colonization. And that in contrast to a simple sentence also from the Chaiwas Pa study, where they said that how much the women appreciated if they met a nurse with a friendly, positive attitude. And so that's where I wanted to end, is back to our characteristics of love, care, knowing our motivations, and could those be how we move forward in reconciliation?
Thank you, Cheryl, Brody, and Danielle for your wonderful words. I know that you didn't take your role lightly, but you approached it with open hearts and minds, and so I want to recognize you for that, and for the continued role that you will have going forward in your communities. So thank you so much. So we have come to the end of our time together. It has been my privilege to join you over these last 2 days from the traditional and unceded lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. During these 2 days, we have been joined by people from across BC and as well elsewhere in Canada. It has been an inspiring and educational 2 days for me, a time of connection and learning, and I hope that you feel the same. If you missed any talks that you'd like to watch, we will send information on how they can be accessed in the coming days. Please remember to make use of the self-care and resource sheet and the debrief session that will come next week if you need it. We will also be sending a link to an evaluation survey. We would truly appreciate hearing what you thought of the event and how we can make future events better and better. I want to extend a sincere thanks to everyone on our planning group, our moderators, our amazing speakers, the Fraser Center staff for logistical and technical support, and Elder Patricia and Elder William. And thank you to everyone who attended the symposium, helping us to strengthen the circle, if you will, particularly as this is a difficult time for many. So, Heichka, I honor everybody who has joined us, and thank you so much. And I invite you to take 1 or 2 new pieces of wisdom away with you and help to continue to spread the message of decolonization of health research within your respective communities and to continue to strive for reconciliation. And now it is my honor and pleasure to give the last word to Elder William Thomas, who will close our symposium with a traditional prayer.
I'd like to thank everyone for all their sharing of their knowledge and their teachings in such a good way. The things that are learned, we sometimes take for granted all these things that our ancestors are giving to us because we're paying too much attention to the chaos that's around us, that we don't fully accept what's there. There's when we ask questions, in the old days, the question and the answer came together. And in today's society, we have so much clutter going on that when you ask the question, the answer's hiding behind it. Do we have to do other things to find that answer to those questions? Searching, looking for people, looking for things that are going to give us the answers that we're looking for. We're an old race, old people, but we're new because we don't know what we have, what's available to us. The majority of the time, I like to thank Creator and the buffalo. Because the teachings I've got is the buffalo is the articulate one. They can give you the words that you need when you're struggling or when you're up against a wall, where you have that lack of knowing how to really put words together. When I ask for that help, everything's up, it's always given. There's never any holdback. I'm always willing to understand or learn something new, a different way, a new understanding. And that's what I've gotten this last 2 days. It is something really new for me. And I've been looking at this and working my own way to understand the majority of it. And I'm just really grateful that I was part of this, not just to sit here and look old, to find something new. These new teachings, everything that that everybody was saying today, I could really grab hold of, because all of it was all old teachings. It was all already done in the past. So I look at it and I think, well, this is our ancestors. They're channeling through these people and giving them a knowledge that was there before, something that we all have if we look for it. They say everything's in our blood. Everything our people know or knew. We just have to become astute enough to hear it, to listen. You know, I couldn't understand when I first began this walk. My elders told me to pay attention to everything around you, listen to it all. Now, I didn't really understand what they meant. I see that blade of grass waving in the wind, understand what it's saying and what the wind's saying and everything else. You know, it was confusing to me. And as I got further down the path, that I was started to pick up understandings that I really didn't think I knew, but they were there. They came to me. I opened myself up to my ancestors, the old ones. I asked for their help in a way to be the best person I can be. The things that have gone on today, you know, I've touched with each one of them, that everything everyone was saying. My younger brother had HIV. He gave me a lot of good teachings just before he passed. And I hold on to those and know that he's walking with me and guiding me as I walk on this walk, this earth walk. And I hear those teachings coming from everywhere that's been going on today. Not just with the presenters, but all the chats as well. All those things that were coming up, the people were saying, these are all good teachings, understandings, as I call them. Because the knowledge that's there is astronomical. Sometimes we take these things for granted, that they're there, and not really pay attention to what's going on or what's being said. Sometimes we drift away and not understand what the person was saying because we weren't there. And that's that confusion, that chaos that I'm talking about. We get drifted. I work hard at paying attention to understand what people are saying, not just with their words, but with their face and their body, their spirit, and bring those together so that we can walk in a good way and be whole together. It's a real honor to be able to be working in this field I am, you know, the health field. It's like, I don't know much about the medical part, but I do know a lot about our medicines and our teachings and our understandings. And I can help people come back together when they're all confused and looking, always looking, but they can never find what they need to bring themselves together. You know, and it just takes a little bit of time compassion, care, love, understanding. And this is what I felt over these last 2 days. All this was all here, all in this one little package, and just made me feel good to be part of it. And I just I'm really grateful, and I want to thank those ones that were presenting and all those ones that were here in the background. You did some powerful work these last 2 days. You had some powerful words, and I just want to thank those ones and thank our ancestors and thank the Creator for allowing us to be here and be part of this, and for holding us up this last week, and that they continue to do so that we can continue, because there's going to be a lot more heartache coming with the rest of these residential schools. So thank you very much.
Haichka, Elder William, for closing us out in a good way. I cannot possibly follow that any better. So I will just wish everybody a good afternoon and a good weekend, and hope that we all come together or have an opportunity to come together sometime in the future. Take care of yourselves, and see you soon.